Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to week 2 of Ho in 2020. Welcome to Herb Oracle. So it's getting real now. We in it now. We are coming together each week to do an herb of the week. And today we are going to do rose, which is the herb of the week. And I had to laugh Friday because we did the live stream Friday on Instagram, and didn't rose peek in. It was one of the cards, but I didn't actually realize Friday that it was going to be this week's herb of the week, because I don't look ahead, you guys. I am not planning. I'm planning only as much as I need to plan, because I realized in my life that the more that I overplan, the more I give ego the reins, the more I give ego the wheel in my life. And I don't want ego to run the show anymore. I want spirit. I want my higher will. I want, my higher self to be calling the shots. And so the way I do that best is be like, okay, spirit, here we are. I show up. And it just happens. Now, not everything in my life is like that, but the more I let go and let spirit run the show, it's good. It was good last week. We had a real good time last week. But yeah, Friday, did the live stream. That was fun. The live stream was fun. And one of the cards that we pulled was rose. So then later that night, I realized, because I turned the page in my notebook to see what was the herb this week. I saw it was rose, and I was like, aren't you a sweetheart for sneaking in for a little sneak peek as what to come. So I thought that was really cute of Rose. And synchronistically in my life, it's kind of almost weird but magical, but heartwarming that this week in my life, in my personal circle, we really actually need Rose to be there, because my mother-in-law did pass away this weekend, and there's a lot of sad hearts, a lot of grief. There's just a lot of emotions in the house and, in our little family. So anyways, that's kind of cool though, in a way, like she's showing up at the right time. Rose is showing up when I need her, hopefully when you need her. She's a beautiful, beautiful herb, and I am looking forward to going through this stack of oracle cards, talking to you about them, and then we'll take a little break, and whoever wants to dive deeper, the second half, we are really going to dive deeper into the guidebooks of these awesome oracles. So Rose came in already Friday. She's ahead of us. She's leading the way. She's leading the way with holding our hand, saying, be in joy, be in love, keep your heart open. I'm looking out for you. I mean, for the love of God, we are love. We are love. We are made for love, by love, in the name of love, because we are love. When you think about it, what is the energy of God? Probably love, right? Love is everything. Love is the only thing that we take with us when we go. And Rose is the ultimate herbal representation of unconditional love and heart space and heart healing and love and joy and everything that can be kind of grouped in with that. So personally, I'm hoping so much that by the end of this podcast, I'm feeling more love, because life still comes with its love challenges, that's for sure, and they're usually from the menfolk. But I mean, even like a situation like this, like my mother-in-law passed. Like, if you know my story, you know that my husband and I have been separated now for 6 or 7 months. And, but yet, this type of situation makes me pour a little more love towards him. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when someone passes, it just, whether it's just for a day or the week, while you're thinking about it, you put your grievances aside, you realize what really matters, you have compassion for the grieving, you have sympathy, and, whereas before you may have been holding back, yesterday when I saw him, I was more than happy to give him hugs and truly, authentically, and honestly send good vibes his way. So I'm thankful for all of that. And I know in my life, I really do want to always be trying to feel more love for myself, more love for others, just more love in general. Because when you have more love, you have more kindness, you have more patience, you have just more of all the good stuff. But yeah, if you can just get that love growing, it's good. So you'll really like the affirmations this week. I am loving. I am open to love. I practice forgiveness. Things like that, right? I'll have a printable on the Herbal Marie Patreon page. I encounter love in all my relationships. So we're not just talking romance when we're talking love. We are talking all things. We are talking love for our friends, our family, love for strangers, love for all humanity. I give out love and it is returned to me multiplied. Right? We studied the laws of the universe last year. We know now. We're basically scientists now. We know that what you put out, you get back. If you throw a ball against the wall, it's coming back at you, girl. Get ready. So when we give out love, it's going to come back to us. And we make the intentions for it to come back multiplied. I allow love to lead the way. So on that note, I'm going to allow love to lead the way. I'm going to allow spirit to lead the way. I'm going to tell you about these amazing cards that I have that are all roses. Quite a wonky, tiny little deck I've created for myself here. Hard to shuffle for sure, but it is just absolutely beautiful. So I'll start off by just describing these cards to you. The one that came in Friday that we've already covered was the card from the Soulful Flowers. And I'll give everybody good credit with the names of the decks here when we're done. She came in with a message of joy Friday in our live stream. And Rose is comforting and soothing, infusing your heart and soul with gratitude and joy, and helping you to stay centered and loving to yourself and others when it is needed most. So yeah, it'd be nice if we were always in love and joy, if we were always feeling good, if we always had those warm fuzzies inside of us, but especially when we need it the most. Rose reminds you to be open to the sweetness of life and supports your personal growth, whatever the conditions surrounding you may be. So in times of trauma, in times of grief, in times of sadness, in times of excitement, in times of fun, in times of boredom, like wherever you're at, Rose reminds you to still be open to the sweetness of life. Because even in like seemingly sad situations, there's something that you can focus on that is more loving. My girls were feeling really bad about their grandma dying. And I said, I let them know that they are allowed to feel however they want to feel. There's no wrong way to grieve. There is no wrong way. Just feel your feelings and allow yourself, to feel bad if you want to. But then I said, there's also a lot of things to feel good about, when we think about Josie. One, she's not suffering anymore. You know, her body was really suffering, and now she's no longer in it. She doesn't need it anymore. She doesn't need her body anymore, so she's free of that. And that made the girls feel a little bit better. And then I let them know that Josie did make a little visit to me already, because I was feeling bad the morning that I found out, and I was, you know, just feeling bad about it. And all of a sudden I had this really sweet, warm, loving energy and feeling, an idea pop into me, and it felt like the essence of who Josie is now. And she said, "You guys don't even know how much fun I'm having." Because I have waited so long, 20 years, to be reconnected with my husband. And I just felt like all of a sudden I was missing a huge point of celebration. Even though we're sad that she's not here, now she's in spirit reconnecting with her husband. So when I told the girls that I had experienced that, that really made them happy to think about their grandparents being together. And especially when we know that Josie has waited so long to do that. So it's like Rose is saying that keep your heart open. Keep your heart open to the sweetness of life, because even in the most bitter moments, there's something sweet. There can be something sweet about it. So I'm so thankful that I realized that. And because now I can celebrate with Josie. Not that there's not going to be other emotions, and I have to be compassionate and sympathetic to where everybody is at. But for me personally, I'm starting to focus on the sweetness of the circumstance. So Rose is all about unconditional love. So this next card that I'm looking at, it's a garden scene, and there's a red rose and a pink rose, and they're just cozying up like cheek to cheek at the bottom. And then behind them is a rose in a clutch. Is that what that's called? Like the white vase that goes over a plant to keep the moisture in. That's probably not the right word that I'm using, but anyways, it's like in its own little greenhouse. And it seems like it's sweating in there alone, and a petal is dropping off. So I'm not sure exactly what the symbolism in that is. If it's self-love, if it's nurture yourself, or if it's more like a prison. I want to say like your own little prison. But it seems like, you know, you can have love by yourself, but you can also enjoy this love with others. So behind that glass container with the single stemmed rose in it, there are two lovers embracing each other's face, kissing each other so sweetly back there in the rose bushes. So if you can envision all of that, it is a very sweet card. If not, you know, I'll take a picture of it on the Instagram for Herb Oracle. So Ho will take a picture, you know that. You know it. But yeah, it's this sweet message of unconditional love. And that's our next two cards. Our card after that, Tess Whitehurst card. She has a rose mandala, and it has a message of pure love. So, and you have to stop and think about that a little bit, because we, for the most part, live in our egos. And ego thinks it knows love, but it really doesn't, because ego's love comes with all these conditions. I'll love you if you're this way. I'll love you if you do this for me. I'll love you as long as you don't do that. Ego has conditional love. The heart within you has unconditional love. You know, the love of spirit is unconditional love. It's like, you can't screw this up. I'm going to send love at you anyways. The love is just there. The love is always present. So these two cards, I can't wait to read in their guidebooks about unconditional love, about pure love, about just giving it out no matter what. And seeing the rose on this mandala, it's like in a square, but a mandala on it. it really reminds me that love is an energy, love is a frequency, love just is. Like, you don't actually have to create love or manifest love. I mean, we're gonna we're gonna go there, but the energy of love just exists. And if you can learn to tap into it, you'll always have access to it. So the next card, ooh, the next card is two roses again. This is the one from the herbiary, and it has a message to crack open, and it has this sword, the sword in the center with these two long-stemmed, thorny roses spiraling around it, right? So it's like, love me, but don't touch me, with those thorns. We have our boundaries, but it's this message to crack open. And there are the phases of the moon going across the top of these two rose heads, which says to me, we're going to go through phases of our life, and some of them will be painful, like the saying goodbye of a loved one or the ending of a relationship. And these moments that seem to break our hearts, they are breaking our hearts. But what they do that is beautiful is they crack us open to receive more love. So I've always told everyone in my live streams over the last few years that a broken heart is an open heart. So if you've recently had your heart broken, and it just seems so dire and sad and depressing and painful and agony and just heavy with grief, really the only thing that you can celebrate at first is a broken heart is an open heart. And, like if you ended a long-term relationship, that didn't end well, it's like, you mother trucker, you broke my heart open, but thank you so much, because now that it's open, now that's been cracked open, I can receive more love. I can give more love. I have the potential for more love. And then you just spin off of that into a better feeling place. You just spin right off of that. So crack open. Sometimes people need to have their hearts cracked open because they've become so unloving. They've become devoid of compassion. They don't have attachment the way they should. And the best thing that Spirit does for them and their higher self is give them the experience of having their heart cracked open. And I know that was good with this situation with the girl's dad, with my soon-to-be ex-husband. I mean, this really cracked his heart open more, and he will be the better person for it. Like, he needed it. He really, really did. So anyways, moving on to the next card. It's a tarot card. It's the Empress. The rose is the Empress in the Herb Crafters Tarot. And this is a really interesting card for so many reasons. So there is a heart-shaped honeycomb in it. Like, it's honeycomb, but in a heart shape. I imagine to remind us about the sweetness of life. But there's also chili peppers that are shaped in like a trinity, there's 3 chili peppers. There's rose hips, there's rose petals, there's rose leaves, there's rose hips stringed on making a necklace with an amulet with a heart on it. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. So there is a wild rose flower too in full bloom. So not everything is fresh. Some things are drying, some things are dried. It really is a unique representation of rose, because a lot of times with oracle cards and art, all you get to see is the perfect bloom in its full glory. But the rose is not just here for the perfect day, for the perfect moment, for the perfect loving encounter. It's here for the whole damn season. It really is. Which excites me for the next card I'll tell you about, because there is a rose here that's called Winter Rose. And it's all about promise. So it's like Rose just isn't here temporarily in your life. At all stages of your life, you can call on Rose. You can access the energy of the herb of the week. And you know what is going to be funny is a lot of times I'm going to call Rose love. I'll just like, it's like, wait, the herb of the week was love? Because rose just symbolizes love to me so much. It's good for other things. It'll symbolize other things. We're going to talk about other things, but if I just start calling it all love, it's because that is what rose is to me. But this winter rose has these crystals of, Jack Frost came by and put all these ice crystals all over this rose hip that is deep into winter. And there's a message of promise. So even on your darkest days, even in your most love drought stretches in your life, like you haven't had a lover for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, a whole fucking decade. There is still promise. There is still hope, because I think the one thing Rose is going to want to talk to us about is that there's so many different ways to love. So you can get more love going on in your life, one way or another. So we have our next card has a wild rose, and it has a message about clarity. This botanical hedge witch wants to talk about clarity. So getting to see through the eyes of love. Rose will help us have more clarity in our life, see the bigger picture, cut through the bullshit, see right through the illusion, and see the truth of all matters, which is love. So I'm excited to get a little nerdy with that card. I know that card will get us get us out of our hearts and into our heads where we belong. No. No, ego, that's not where we belong. We do belong in our hearts. But the thing is, once we start letting our heart guide the way, our mind and our ego becomes the faithful servant to the heart. So we do need to switch gears. If we've been letting ego run the show, if you've been in your head too much, Rose could be a beautiful herbal ally for you to connect with, to get you into your heart space, to get more love and more affection in your life. So that's the next card we have, affection. And this is a beautiful peach colored rose. And there's a wonderful dragon butterfly called Reverdin's Blue that is just enjoying her time on this peach rose. It's actually a group of 3 peach roses. So I imagine this rose grows on a little shrubby bush, and it probably smells amazing. So we are going to manifest more this week. Last week we manifested more abundance, and this week we are inspired by this little dragon butterfly, and we are going to manifest more affection. So we're going to talk more about that Wednesday, manifesting more affection. I don't really even know how we're going to do that, what I'm going to say, what's going to come through, but that's the plan, and I have to just trust it. And love will certainly do that. Rose will certainly help us manifest more affection in our life. So if we have been feeling like that rose that we saw in one of the first cards that was in the glass clutch, I just want to call them a clutch. I'm gonna have to look this word up and make sure I'm not making shit up. But if we feel like we're in our own terrarium, our own greenhouse, it's just us, right? We really do need to get affection going on, not just even in a romantic way, but just more affection of the heart, affectionate in the ways of kindness and touch and sweetness. So I'm really excited for this card. I'm really excited to sit with this whole concept on Wednesday, because I don't know about you, but I would definitely love to feel more affectionately towards people and have more affection directed towards me as well. So that's that card. And the next card is love, baby. We're going to get a little witchy with this. We're going to do a spell with this card. It's two lovers that are like, it almost looks like they're giving each other a high five, but they're equals, man. There's one on each side of this huge rose bush that seems like a rose tree. It's so big. He's got a sword beside him. She has a dragonfly that also seems like a sword. She's holding a rose. Perhaps he just gave it to her, and she's giving him back some love with a high five. Like your style, girl. But they really love each other. Like, they're pleasant. Their little faces are pleasant. And, yeah, it's a mature kind of love, an honest kind of love, a respectful kind of love. So I'm excited to love up this card when we get to it. Oh, this next card loves me instantly. It's Mother Mary. Of course, when we talk about roses, at some point we will, don't matter your religion, you will come up, you will see Mother Mary at some point. So this card is really interesting. We'll talk about the two colored, she has a pink rose and a yellow rose. I know we'll talk about Rudolf Steiner with this card. This is the essence of rose. This is a rose flower essence coming in with Mother Mary, who has a rose on her chest, who is just unconditional in her love for everyone that she lays her eyes on. So excited for that. Just giving you the heads up here. And then we'll end with another flower essence of wild rose from the Bach Flower Remedies. That will be a nice little add-on. And then our last card is from the Herbal Healing deck, Rose, with this incredible sacred geometry spiral design on the rose itself in its heart space, and it has a message of an open heart. Keep that heart open. I am open to love. I practice forgiveness. I am loving. Feel the power in that. I am loving. Because a lot of times we're just not milking that. So these cards, as I restack up, I think in reversed order that I talked about, we are going to dive into them. We are going to pound love into our hearts, into our minds in a most gentle way. Hopefully we hear the guidance that we are looking forward to. We'll get a little into some spells, a little nerdy na-na-na-na, and we'll just get to know the herb of the week, Rose, on a deeper, more intimate level. And then just a heads up, at the end of the week, I will be doing a super nerdy podcast over at Herbal Marie about Rose too, because it's time. It is time for her to get into the spotlight, because more than ever, humanity needs this wonderful, beautiful herbal healing ally, Rose. All right, so I'm going to sit up a little straighter for Rose. So Rose and all that love was like wanting to lull me back to sleep. But I'll start with our little layout here on the desk, putting out the card that really is kicking it off, because she showed up last week. So I feel like she gets to go first, from the Soulflower Oracle deck, Plant Spirit Oracle deck by Lisa Esterbrook. You know, just reminding us that Rose is soothing and comforting, and she will, if we invite the energy of Rose. Even if we don't have any roses with us right now, we can still call on the spirit of Rose to infuse our heart and soul with gratitude and joy, which will help us stay centered and loving. All right, so gratitude and joy is two big things that Rose is bringing in to help us stay kind and loving to ourselves and to others, and especially when we need it most. So when you're put in situations that are challenging, call on rose, right? If you are lucky enough to have something scented with this smell of rose. I mean, rose is not cheap. It takes a lot of rose petals to create rose oil and rose perfume. So if you have any, really just be grateful for it and joyfully put it on and allow rose to remind you to be open to the sweetness of life. So what can you find today, right now, looking forward, that is sweet in your life? Rose supports your personal growth, whatever the conditions surrounding you may be. So we will put her in the center and we will surround her with all these other roses, as she just wants to remind us that we can always be supported no matter what is surrounding us. Okay, so no matter what is surrounding us, we will be supported with joy, with love. And that's really interesting, because that card that we're going to do next, this is from the Oracle of the Essences, that is in that glass vase, which I forgot to look up and see what it's actually called. I feel like it's spelled like CLOTCH, Clotch? I don't know. I know somebody's laughing at me right now because they're like, yeah, it's called a da-da-da. But I don't have any. But like, say you had a plant in your garden that like needed protection or some extra heat or warmth or moisture, you would put this glass, it looks like upside down glass vase over it, and it makes it like its own little greenhouse. So yeah, I mean, you can see the moisture dripping down the insides of the glass walls right now. But it just made me think of it, because it's like, no matter what conditions are surrounding you, so maybe you're surrounded by things that aren't really good right now, but so you can create yourself this like little protective bubble, right, to feel some love, to feel some sweetness, to just maybe allow rose to protect you. So that is the cool thing about roses. They have thorns, right? They are unconditional in their loving vibrancy, but they also know boundaries. So it's like, boundaries are good. Just ask the rose. So let's dive into the book, because we got a lot to look on today, but I think it'll be good. We're going to start off with some wise words from Theodore Rake. He said, in order to be happy oneself, it is necessary to make at least one other person happy. Interesting. In order to be happy oneself, it is necessary to make at least one other person happy. All right. Hey, I love making people happy. You don't have to twist my arm to make people happy. I love making people happy. I love making people laugh. I love them feeling love. I love sending and pouring love towards people. I love loving. I love loving. So in order for you, if you're not feeling happy, hey, try it out. See what it feels like to help somebody else feel happy. Rose says, give it and you will receive it. So rose emanates a very special essence, and it is regarded the queen of the flowers. Many rose petals are required to distill the beautiful essence of this flower's spirit. Rose is very gentle, a great assistant in communications and trust. Romantic or not, this card is about the connection between two souls. Rose can be used as an aphrodisiac. It also helps with the reproductive system and with depression. So rose is an incredible essence for communication between people, trust, connection. Yep, aphrodisiac for sure. And just if you're trying to make a baby, maybe get some rose oil. And if you've been feeling depressed, that's why rose is so good for the heart when it is healing grief. So, rose eases the heart and brings happiness to the wounded. It is connected directly to the heart chakra. Positive and productive patterns will blossom under this card. When it is in the negative state, when it is in the negative aspect, the ego will be exposed and resentment can be felt. When it's in the negative aspect, Rose can give up on love as it feels undeserving. The connection between the heart and the brain is lost. Rose bushes are robust and strong, but you can prick yourself with a thorn. Be careful playing with the heart's desires. The rose in the glass bubble represents the cycle of relationships. Red is the color of action, desire, fire, and passion. All right, so here I'm trying to figure out like the old-fashioned name. We can just call it a bubble. The rose in the glass bubble represents the cycle of relationships. So yeah, it's like the petal, one of the petal is falling off. The cycle of relationships. So I cleaned an office all summer that just put in these new little rose bushes. And that thing bloomed. I don't know what kind it was. It smelled so good. It reminded me, it's like they were like pinkish, peachish color, but they just had like everlasting blooms on them. So I don't know if it's like a hybrid they've been messing with, but I literally smelled roses all summer long. And just when you thought that thing was done, more buds appeared. It was like, hey, science, if you messed with the rose, you did good. This thing is incredible. It made me so happy to smell it and just be around it. And that's what rose is. It's like you just love to be around them. You love to smell them, to receive them. I love roses that actually smell like roses. You know, there's different levels of smells from the rose. Let's read the divinatory meaning though from this card. Rose, as the oil of unconditional love, represents the harmony and balance that can be found in relationships. This card can also herald the arrival of a new relationship in your life. Listening to heart desires becomes the challenge. The answer is yes. So yeah, I love that Rose is saying you can have unconditional love in all your relationships, all of them. Connections between hearts, right? That's friends, that's family, that's your children, your parents, your coworkers, just any connection. Just keep that heart open. So shout out to the Oracle of the Essences. You'll recognize the affirmations this week because I used parts of these two affirmations. They're so beautiful. I encounter love in all my relationships, and I love these encounters. I give out love, and it is returned to me multiplied manyfold. I encounter love in all my relationships, and I love these encounters. I give out love, and it is returned to me multiplied manyfold. So you gotta love these affirmations. It's saying, I encounter love in all my relationships. Not just some of them, all of them. And I really love these encounters. I'm telling the universe, I like it, I love it, I'll take some more of it. I give out love, and guess what? It's returned to me multiplied manyfold, many, many times. It comes back to me in abundance. When I give out love, it gets returned to me as even more love. And you know what? I love it. I love it so much. All right, so that is that. Let's get her a place over here. So rose is unconditional love. Rose is joy. Rose is communication between hearts. Rose is connection. Rose is pure love. Next, we're moving on to The Magic of Flowers by Tess Whitehurst. And this is the one with the mandala. That just to me is just talking about the frequency, the energy, the as a matter of factness of the energy of rose. It's like one of the purest essences, the most highest vibrating. Rose's magical specialties, we can bring in rose in our life for abundance, for beauty, for clearing, for blessing. We can use rose for dreams, emotional healing, friendship, protection, purification, romantic love. One of the magical specialties of rose is secrecy, self-love, and spirituality. So it runs the gamut of some amazing things that we can use it for energetically. Pure love is so potent and positively vibrating that it stretches tender human hearts beyond their previous capacity. That's why an open heart can bring tears and even cause a sensation that's both wonderful and similar to physical pain. It's like, yeah, like when you clench your chest, like from a heartbreak, from heartache, it literally feels like your heart is breaking, right? And magically enough, like the same love, the same pure love can make tears come from your eyes in joy. It's just so powerful. While rose is said to be the purest and most positively vibrating living thing, as it emanates the vibration of pure love, a rose's thorns are a representation of love's associated pain. So, yeah, I mean, it's such a paradox. It also represents a heart filled with love is said to ache, and when we open our hearts, we do so despite the certainty of being wounded in some way at some time as a result of that love, because in the finite realm, the only constant is change. So it's like, even though we know we could get our hearts crushed, it's just so delicious. It's who we are. We're gonna continue to open up our hearts again and again to love. We will. You might be sitting there saying right now, saying that you won't. I won't. No more love for me. Yes, you will. Yeah, maybe even by the end of this podcast, you'll be loving. You'll be feeling more loving. So, indeed, the Sanskrit name for the heart chakra, the wheel of energy associated with love that yogis and energy healers recognize as dwelling at the center of the sternum, your heart chakra, is anahata, which translates to unstruck, alluding to the fact that a person with an open heart is someone who is able to let her guard down as completely as someone who has never been hurt before. So while it takes courage to open our hearts fully to love, we have no other choice if we want to experience all the beauty and fullness this life experience has to offer. So it's like, what is a life without love? To me, it feels pretty pointless. It really does. And that's not just saying that you have to have romantic love, but it's like you have to have your heart open to love, or you're just not really living. You're not being true to who you truly are. You are made from love. You are love. Like, it's just all about love, you guys. Love is everything. And rose is the perfect herb to teach us this lesson. So when we look at this card with the mandala of the roses, there's a big rose in the center. She's shining out light in all directions. There's a green there's a green star shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pointed star that represents the heart chakra. It has rose petals on the tips. It has little rose buds in between. There's just so much to give. This card counsels you to open your heart and draw upon the divine energy of love. To do so, you might begin by relaxing. Then feel, imagine, and sense a very bright white or pink rose of light dwelling in your heart chakra. So just like Mother Mary has in the card that we'll get to, she has a lighted rose. Envision a lighted white and pink rose right on your chest, right on your heart chakra. See and sense this rose of light expanding until it fills your entire body and aura. Inhale. Inhale the pure, fresh scent of roses and allow it to permeate your consciousness as well as your entire physical being. So envision this rose, this energetic rose on your heart chakra. Allow it to just take over all parts of you, expand out from you, and then tap into your memory the last time you smelled delicious roses. Tap into the memory of that smell, that frequency, and allow it to permeate your consciousness. So Rose wants to say, open your heart. Allow love to lead the way. Feel yourself to be surrounded and protected by love. Tap into the infinite love that surrounds you. Pure love is present in this situation. So what you need to do is concentrate on love rather than discord. What you need to do is release your limiting beliefs about love. If you're holding a grudge against love, Rose wants you to release that limiting belief system now. It doesn't need to block you off of good feelings any longer. Rose wants you to love yourself fully, then extend love to everyone. Everyone. First you gotta love yourself, then you need to share it and shine it and just extend it to everyone involved with every situation you find yourself in. And know that you are lovable. Rose wants you to know that you are lovable. You are indeed deserving of love. So, advice from the Magic of Flowers companion book says, make a habit of seeing everyone as deserving of love. For example, you might choose to see each person and animal you encounter as their mother would see them, or as you would see your mother. So, like, just love them. Just love everybody like you would love them if you were their mama. And the way you love your mother, right? Right? Come on now. Love your mama and start to love everybody just like that. So if you can this week, spend some time with Rose. Bring it into your home. Invite it into your garden. Inhale the beautiful scent of rose. Maybe take out a small loan and get some essential oil of rose and diffuse it in your house. There might even be a homeopathic flower essence remedy with rose that you could take. Mist yourself in your space with rose water. I know I use a rose toner, like a rose toner on my face, and I love spritzing that on my face. If you can get some dried rose petals, maybe add them to your bath water. Or if you're lucky enough to have them fresh in your own garden, well, look at you. Look at you. Get some into your bath. And just start loving yourself up. All right, I got to reach over here now off the bookshelf and grab the Illustrated Herbiary. Yeah, it's an actual book. I wish I wouldn't have knocked on that. My dogs will maybe think there's somebody here. All right, so the Herbiary book is amazing. And that is the next card we are going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy this card now. I'm going to put it way up at the top of this layout right now. Way up at the top. This is the one with the sword and the two long-stemmed, the long stems spiraling around the sword and each other. Being careful to respect the thorns, respecting the sword, but maybe healing what the sword has maybe gone into the heart, and the roses are here to heal. This is the message of crack open. We have the phases of the moon. So just as the rose and the glass bubble represented the phases of our relationships, the cycles, the beginnings, the endings, the ups, the downs, the phases of the moon. You know, there's not one phase that's better than the rest. You might enjoy the full moon, maybe more than the new moon, maybe more, you know what I mean? You'll have your favorite parts, but just know that it's all part of the cycle. And it just keeps on going. And just because you have one full moon that drove you insane doesn't mean they'll always be like that. You know, so there's a lot of messages in this card from Rose. So let's see if I can find it here in the book. Take a deep breath. Were you able to envision the beautiful smell of rose? Like, can you tap into that, into your nasal memory? It's just so wonderful. It's just the best. It really, really is. So Rose has a message now for us to crack open. The Rosa species. Yes, that. Rose sighs as she contemplates Rainer Maria Reich's take on relationships. All right, so let's see what Rainer Maria Rilke? Anyways, Rainer Maria. What a name. She said in Letters to a Young Poet, she said, once the realization is accepted that even between the closest human beings, infinite distances exist, a wonderful living side by side can grow. If they succeed in loving the distance between them, which makes it possible for each to see the other whole against the sky. Dang, that's like something that we might need to hit rewind and re-listen to. But I think what she's saying is once you realize that even you and I can be so close. You and I can be so close. The closest that two human beings have ever been. But even between us, there will still be an infinite distance. Okay, we can be together wonderfully side by side. But we've got to love that distance that is actually will always still be between us, because that is what makes it possible for us to see each other. So we truly are we're all cut from the same cloth. We're all cut from the fabric of existence, God, all that is, source. And the only way for us to experience each other and experience God is from this separation, is from this distance. So we have to love it. We have to really respect it. So I guess that's why, like, these two roses, they are definitely loving each other, but they still also respect and love the distance. Here it is, y'all. Here it is. All right, so Rose, she adores poetry, but despite popular belief, she simply can't countenance mushy love. Rose knows that to experience love in full, you need to be a strong vessel while at the same time cracking open. Does that seem like a contradiction? No more a contradiction than flowers and thorns, murmurs Rose. Rose reminds you to embrace dualities and say both and instead of either or. Ooh, I love that. I love that because it's like you gotta love it all. You got to love your existence. You got to love the highs and you need to love the lows. You need to love it all. You should be condemning nothing about you or your life. You should be loving all of it, even the crazy insanity and illusions. Like, just love it all. We came here for all of it, believe it or not. So, yes, you can have beautiful flowers and you can have thorns. So, wear your thorns is what Rose is telling you. Wear your thorns. So there's a beautiful ritual in the Herbiary book called Wear Your Thorns, and then the reflection is called See Yourself Whole. So yeah, I love that Rose wants us to say that, like, it's okay for us to accept all parts of ourselves, and it's okay for us to wear our thorns. Like Rose, we have been cultivated for beauty. Male or female, we tend our appearance, choosing clothing colors that complement our complexion, styling our hair, adorning ourselves with jewelry or makeup. And like hybrid roses, as we cultivate ourselves, it's easy to become rather thornless. Ooh, this is so good. Add a layer of thorns to your primping by incorporating a symbol of protection into your attire. Maybe it's a color that acts as a warning. In nature, bright red and black are warning colors. So, like, maybe think like a black leather jacket or a red scarf, or maybe you'd like to add some protective jewelry. Celtic cultures wore amber for protection, and some Native American tribes wore turquoise. So if you have long hair, try adding hair sticks, symbolic weaponry to your updo. So it says in parentheses, occasionally you can find hair sticks made from porcupine quills. You'll feel like Rose with your very own thorns. I often laugh because I feel like my long, witchy fingernails are like thorns. I mean, they just grow and they are so strong, they could claw out an eyeball. And they're beautiful, but you also have to really respect them and watch out for them. So notice how your awareness of these thorns makes it easier to walk the world with an open heart. So if you just feel like you are so vulnerable, or, you know, it's like you got love to give, but maybe people take advantage of you. Maybe what you're missing in your life is your thorns. So symbolically, give yourself permission to embrace and love your thorns, and know that they're there for a reason. So this beautiful reflection called See Yourself Whole. Often we're much better at loving others than we are at loving ourselves. The reason for this, according to Rose, is we're too close to ourselves, and so are constantly examining our own minutiae. How to break the habit? Look at the big picture. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of friend are you? How do you care for, nurture, or protect the people you love? How do you care for, nurture, or protect yourself? What are you exceptionally good at? If your soul had a color, what color would it be? So these are questions to help you see yourself whole, like taking a step away from yourself so that you can see yourself like the big picture sees you. When we can't see ourselves whole, we pick and pull at our tiny imperfections, turning them into gaping wounds and fatal flaws. So Rose is saying to zoom back, see yourself whole against the sky. You know, it's like, instead of having your face smack up against the mirror, just being nitpicky, take like 10 steps back and see yourself against the sky, right? Then energetically go 20 feet into the air and start to recognize who you are as an energy. Take a look at yourself in your life and reflect on what kind of person you are, what kind of friend you are, how do you act, how affectionate are you, how nurturing are you, what are you so good at? Start to see yourself as a whole person, as a whole self, as an energy. And I love the question, if your soul had a color, what color would it be? Ooh, that's like fun. I don't know, what color would your soul be? Does it change every day, or is it just like who you are? What color would your soul be? Those are fun. Fun questions for contemplation, reflection, and journaling. Get to it. All right, let's just slide right into the Herb Crafters Tarot with the Empress. If you zoom back and see yourself from the larger picture, would you see yourself as the Empress that you truly are? So Rose is the Empress in the Herb Crafters Tarot, the Rosa species. And she has a message to be vulnerable, yet strong. To be vulnerable, yet strong. To nurture love and compassion, and see beauty and abundance in every stage of life. So yeah, this is the one with the honeycomb it's really interesting. The work table is honey colored. Okay, so it's on a honey colored yellow background, and it's just covered in wild roses. Fall leaves are arranged in a crown. The seeds of fat, juicy rose hips spill out next to a pink heart-shaped petals. Buds and flowers lie on a honeycomb. Red chilies form a triskel pointing to a flaming heart. A stone bead of the Woman of Willendorf, a representation of the Great Mother, is strung onto a rosary. Yeah, I didn't recognize that to be that, but all right. Healing the heart heals the world. Listen up. Healing the heart heals the world. Oh my God, there's so much power in that. I have to say it a third time. Healing the heart heals the world. Learn to be vulnerable yet strong, like the delicate petals of the rose protected by thorns. Roses uplift the spirit and inspire love. Embody sensuality in bold, vibrant ways. Let creativity and abundance flourish around and within you. Wild roses are prolific, creating food, medicine, and shelter for all who encounter them. As all parts of the rose contain medicine, every stage of your life finds passionate expression. Create, make, love, play. It is a fertile, generative time. Ooh, and I just felt my energy finally go up a notch. Like I finally allowed a lot of this energy of the rose to get in me, right? Did you guys just feel, at what point are you feeling more love coming in and out of you? At what point are you really starting to enjoy the idea of this invitation Rose is offering us to create, to make, to love, to play? Roses uplift the spirit and inspire love. So we can craft with the Empress, with the rose. We can, it says, arrange rose thorns and petals together on your altar to cultivate vulnerability and strength. So if this is something that you feel like is imbalance in your life, call on the rose, bring it onto your altar. Really start to sit with the fact that the most beautiful, highest vibrating being on the planet, the rose, has thorns. You know, there is such good lesson in that. There is such good medicine in the rose. She helps us in all stages of our life. You could craft by creating a rosary out of rosebuds, rose hips, or dried rose petal beads for love and compassion. So if you are blessed with an abundance of roses and want to get crafty with it, that sounds fun. It really does. But definitely Rose wants you to celebrate the many stages of life by learning the remedies for each season of the rose. So rose buds for childhood, full blooms for midlife, and rose hips for elderhood. So really start to honor the cycles of life, and Rose is a perfect herbal ally to do that with her different remedies for each season of the rose. The buds for childhood, the full blooms for midlife, and the hips for elderhood. And I love the honeycomb in this picture. Every time I take a break in between segments, which has been a lot, I'm squirting honey into my mouth. I'm celebrating the sweetness of life, and actually, you know, of course, just getting some moisture. It's so dry in here, and I drank ginger tea, which was also drying, and I'm drinking this celery juice. You guys, it's 2 days now with no coffee, so pray for me. All right, moving on to the winter rose of promise. Ooh, I love this so much. I want to put this up in the top right corner. I feel like, I don't know, let me see here. It's good there, but I feel like the way this rose hip is reaching towards the light off to the top right, I feel like it just is like projecting hope outward. So this might be a pretty malleable layout, just rearranging the cards as I think they feel and look good. It's a little different than what I normally do, but it's good. It's good. Winter rose, so has a message of promise, but I love that the Empress was saying, like, the rose has seasons which represent the seasons in our own life. So the hips are for elderhood. Of course, you don't have to wait till you're an old hag to enjoy the rose hips, but that was really an interesting way to look at it. So this snowy, icy, frosted rose hip has a message of promise, and she says it is time to release the dreams that have been lying dormant in your heart. So now that we've been cracked open, our heart's been cracked open, we're starting to feel more joy. We're starting to know love is what it's all about. Winter Rose is saying, good. Now it's time to release the dreams that have been lying dormant in your heart. Do you have dreams that are lying in your heart that are dormant? Right? Think about that. Ask yourself that. And then allow them to come out from hibernation to the light of day so that they can fulfill the promise of the future they hold. Ooh, I love this so much. I'm going to read her channeled message because she got these messages in a channeled state, and they are really magical. They're generally really magical. So I'm just going to read the channeled message. Deva, in a cloak of thorns, soft pink heart energy pulsing, thorn cloak opening like a beautiful rose blossom, sunny white light heart, pure joy. The winter rosebud holds summer's healing energy and spring's promise. Future generations are stored through winter. The Deva shares that the seed pod energy holds healing. It has stored summer's light rain and earth energy that can be used in teas, poultices, and by eating the pods. The Deva says, the earth has provided many healing plants and foods for humans to use, but you have lost much of this knowledge. Plants are trying to communicate with humans, but you have lost the ability to listen. Ooh, burn. So true. So yeah, here's another message of communication from Rose. Just like she's saying that two people can communicate to each other, the Rose is also saying that plants can communicate to you as well. But you basically have to relearn the ability to listen. You have to get into nature. You have to quiet down. Just like last week, dandelion, we touched upon the fact that like when we see dandelions, we don't see them as food, but they are. We don't see wild rose as food, but she is. So the traditional meaning from this oracle deck called Eco Heart Oracle by Ingrid Kolvakagas says the ancient Greeks believed that the goddess Chloris found a dead nymph and turned her into a flower, and then Aphrodite added beauty and the three graces: brilliance, joy, and charm. Dionysus added fragrance. Zephyrius, can't be right, kept clouds away, while Apollo showered it with sunlight. Anyways, thus the rose was named the Queen of Flowers and given to Eros, the deity of love. So forgive me for all that butchering, but you get the point. There's been a lot invested into the rose. And so when you take that into your body, whether it's a tea or a tincture or the hips or the petals or the essences, or you just spritz in your face with some rose-scented toner by Mr. Thayer's, take in that energy of love. Much has been invested and planted into the plant, into the rose flower. So allow it to infuse you as well. And it really wants you to unleash the energy in your heart, the dreams of love, the dreams you hold, the promises that you make to yourself with these visions of love. Unleash them now out into the world and allow them to manifest. So, woo! I love that we're now stepping on Hedge Witches, the Botanical Hedge Witch. We're going to open up the guidebook, the field guide here, because it has wild rose. Perfect spinoff from the winter rose, because you can find roses in nature. The winter rose, the wild rose. The wild rose. All right, so it has a message of clarity. Yeah, I like that, because it's like we can really like not be thinking clearly when we're only up in our head space. And once we get into our heart space, things become very clear what we're aligned with and what we are not aligned with. So let's get a little nerdy with it. Na 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 na. Some other names for the wild rose could be Arctic rose, prickly wild rose, prickly rose, bristly rose, and dog rose for the wild rose. And it's not the emoji rose. This, it just looks like a beautiful wild flower. Wild rose is a delightful plant that adorns and perfumes places across the world. Almost anywhere you travel, there will be some member of this family to greet you. From the Arctic to the seaside, even in the desert, right? The rose family is vast. Solo Thompson is saying, on my summer hikes, I am often delighted by great outcroppings of wild rose bushes festooned with birds and butterflies. The fragrant petals of the rose are edible. You can eat the petals, and are used for their antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral properties. They can be dried and made into tea. Seriously, guys, big wow. This flower also has many other culinary applications. They can be added to desserts, syrups, and candies. The fragrant rose oil is used to make infusions, ointments, and cosmetic products. Rose hips, the seed containing fruit of the plant, yields a large amount of vitamin C when fresh. Dried rose hips are used to treat stomach disorders, stomach spasms, stomach acid deficiency, soothe irritations and ulcers, and as a tonic for intestinal diseases. Did you know that? No, you probably didn't, because the rose is just like romanticized and glorified with good reason, that a lot of times people don't ever dig down deep enough to find out that the rose is actually healing, antiviral, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, helps with stomach stuff. Come on, there's a good chance you probably never heard that. So the oracle property, that clarity, is inspired by the use of rose as a cleansing and focusing tonic of all sorts. So almost any herbal detoxing remedy will list rose as a primary ingredient. Many people who seek out this plant for its detoxification qualities are seeking a new lifestyle, the breaking of unwanted habits, and a clearer, cleaner perspective on life. This plant corresponds to the Ace of Swords of the Tarot, with its call for focus and clear sight when approaching new projects, or the Two of Swords, which urges the querent to strip away the blindfold of deception or self-deception and truly assess the situation at hand. So that goes into the Herbiaries card, where it has a sword and a message for you to rise above, step back, and see the picture from a higher perspective. Get that clarity. Get that clarity in your life, in your perspective, in your lifestyle, you know? Really great. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to put that right under the wild rose, right beside the rose of unconditional love in the glass bubble. Getting that clarity. And this is such a white, this is the whitest card. It's really minimalism art, but it just pops right off the page, so to speak. And can you see me now? It's very clear. It's very, very clear. Laid among these other beautiful, highly colored cards, this white card is just truly taking home that message of clarity. So make that intention for yourself to be more clear, see more clearly, as well as all the other beautiful intentions we are making with this week's affirmations. Get them all going on, all cultivating and blooming in your life. Hey, you beautiful lovelies. This affirmation minute is brought to you by the herb of the week, rose. And shout out to all my sponsors and patrons with your loving support. I appreciate you so much, and I dedicate these all to you. I am loving. I am open to love. I practice forgiveness. I encounter love in all my relationships. I give out love and it is returned to me multiplied. I allow love to lead the way. Yes, I am loving. I am open to love. I practice forgiveness. I encounter love in all my relationships. I give out love and it is returned to me multiplied. And I allow love to lead the way. And so it is. Ooh, how much love is too much love, and are you sick of me yet? So I have affection towards you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you feel it. And that is what the next card that we are looking at with this beautiful dragon butterfly, the affection card. We're gonna dive deeper in this specific card this Wednesday for sure, but just for the sake of Rose, because it's Rose's day. It's Rose's time in the spotlight. She should always be in the spotlight, but this is definitely her week to be here with us. That's what we're looking at. We are looking at a hybrid tea rose, a yellow hybrid tea rose. Roses have been a symbol of affection throughout recorded history. The symbolism is strong in modern culture, where roses are synonymous with Valentine's Day and gifts of romantic love. Roses were a beloved symbol of the Greeks and Romans and have been grown throughout the Middle East. They're everywhere, honey. The rose was always held in high regard, with kings claiming it for emblems and poets penning endless words about them. During the Victorian era, with writings on the language of flowers, the colors and meanings of roses became more structured. The most well-known is the red rose for love, but each color has its meanings in the spectrum of love, from camaraderie, bro, to deep adoration. I love you. The yellow rose signifies a sense of friendship or closeness toward the receiver. So we will talk more about this yellow rose on Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, from me to you, honey, here is this beautiful yellow rose I gift to you as a symbol of my friendship, of my affection towards you, my adoration, that I feel enough to just show up, man, because I love you. I love you, man. I love you. All right, so we will hear more about affection on Wednesday. But rose is the perfect symbol of all types. I mean, that's really cool to think about. Like back in the day, if you were given a flower, it wasn't just like, oh, thanks. Like, there was some serious meaning behind that flower. I guess that was before people like sent text messages and knew how to like say how you're feeling. I really love you. I really want you. Like, does he like me or does he really like me? Well, it could really all depend on like the color of that flower. So if I give you a yellow rose, we're just friends. All right. Sorry about that, but we're just friends. All right. So let's talk about love. Let's talk about some more love with Rose, with the Enchanted Spell Oracle. It's the one with the high-fiving couples in front of the rose tree. Like, this bush is so big, it's like a tree. And she's holding a flower that she was just given. And she's just like, bam, high five ya. Maybe he gave her a red rose, but maybe she'd actually rather give him a yellow rose. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It seems like a high five, but it also could be like mutual respect. But yeah, if you get a high five and not a kiss on the mouth, it's love, but it just might not be romantic love. But this card is all about all relationships, connections, and possibilities. And so that's what Rose, I think, wants to tell me personally, and everybody. You can have an abundance of love in your life. And it's going to come in all shapes, sizes, forms, and it can be in everything and anything. Like, you don't need to just save your love for your lover. You can have affection towards everyone. Affection is a kind, gentle, loving feeling that's not just physical. So Rosa Damascena, the scent of roses must be one of the most loved and revered fragrances. It soothes the soul and creates feelings of happiness and comfort. On a metaphysical level, the rose perfume symbolizes universal love. Roses are in all types of love spells, for it is the queen of flowers. So that is why she is on the Empress card in the Herb Crafters Tarot. She is queen. Rose is the queen of flowers. The smell of rose essential oil can relieve depression and create feelings of love and confidence. Rose is associated with the heart chakra, and the flower has an overabundance of medicinal properties that soothe and heal. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting nerdy with Rose at Herbal Marie, and I'm really looking forward, to tapping into that comfort and confidence and intestinal healing that Rose can offer. I wish I had some Rose here. I really don't. I don't think. No, I don't. But let's talk about this card with this male and female under this tree with his sword and her dragonfly. And there's a word scribed underneath them, love. The love card depicts a couple being hand-fasted under a red rose tree. The image is one of sweet commitment and love. Two dragonflies. There's two of them? Hold on. I don't see the second one. All right. I'll just have to trust. Two dragonflies dart around the roses, symbolizing the change from youthful desire to a deeper, more mature, emotional connection. So it's not just like the love, lusting love, wham bam, thank you ma'am, that was cool. Like, their love has now morphed, has now emerged and changed into a more mature emotional connection, a deeper connection. Not that the youthful desire wasn't fun, but they have committed to each other, they have loved each other, they have grown with each other. That's not a high five, Sadie. That is hand fasting. They are hand fasted. And I still don't see that other dragonfly. Oh, yes, I do. It's way, way, way at the top. Okay. I knew Priestess Moon was not lying to me. I knew there had to be another dragonfly in there. I found it, girl. We good. We good. So this card wants to talk to us and say, important new relationships are coming to your life. They're in your life. Maybe one that you have right now is about to change. Maybe there's something that's coming here towards you that's going to change your life for the better. So it could be romantic, or it could be a business thing, or it could just be a new friendship that blossoms. But what you need to do is keep your heart open to new possibilities. So that is why one of our affirmations this week is going to be, I am open to love, because we need to keep our hearts open, not just for romance, but for connection on all levels of your life, all areas that you play in, business, friendship, everything. Keeping your heart open keeps you open to new possibilities, new opportunities, new connections. You will start to love your life when you listen to the advice that Rose is bringing here to us today. So I am open to love. I am open to loving my life. Think about all the ways you can expand that affirmation to just keep on growing the love. So we do have a little spell here called the Rose Love Spell. The smell of rose, the perfume of rose, can unlock your heart's desires. For those singletons in the market for a significant other, this spell is very effective. If you don't have any rose bushes in your garden, this is a great time to treat yourself to a bunch of gorgeous roses from your nearest florist. So take a drawstring pouch and begin plucking a rose petal from each rose. As you place each petal in your pouch, think of the desired qualities your perfect partner will possess, and state them out loud for each rose petal. Only you know the answer to this and what you believe makes someone compatible. So I just have to interject here because this is hilarious, because I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was saying that she met this lady that had a list of 28 qualities. The lady was single, and she had made herself a list of the perfect 28 qualities of her future mate, which I think is great. Like, manifest what you want. But my friend was laughing because she was like, they were so ridiculous. And she's like, she might stay single forever because there's just not going to be a human being perfect enough to meet this list. But hey, you're still allowed to define what you want in your life, what you don't want. It's better to stay focused on what you want, okay? Because the universe delivers to you what you think about. So I think it's great to think about the qualities that your perfect partner will possess. That will be different for every single singleton, every single person, because what makes one person happy is not going to be perfect for another person. So yeah, tell the universe what you're looking for. Pluck the rose petals off and put them in your pouch, and say out loud, what you're supposed to say, what the qualities are. So think of the desired qualities and state them out loud. He is kind. He is muscular. He is intelligent. He is sweet. He gives really good back rubs, right? Like whatever it is that you want. She is incredibly caring. She is, I don't know, it's hard to think from that perspective, but like whoever you're thinking about, drop your petals in the bag, and the number of qualities and rose petals you choose is up to you, right? But when you feel like you have filled the pouch up enough, tie up the drawstring and knot it, tie it 3 times. Knot it 3 times. Add a couple of drops of rose essential oil to really seal the deal. And keep this love charm under your pillow for sweet dreams. So yeah, put your intentions out there. Like, he loves himself and he loves the world. That would be a good one. He takes care of his body. He respects nature. He loves herbs. Like, there are definite qualities that I would love to see in a person. And so, yeah, if you can afford rose essential oil, put a couple drops on it and then put it under your pillow. But yeah, there's going to be lots of ways for us to invite roses into our life and do spells and intentions. And now when you smell a rose, you can even just bring in that scent and think about what qualities of people you want in your life in general, you know. Think about what qualities of love you want to put out into the world. There's a lot of different ways that you can work with roses in your spell work, in your crafting work, in your kitchen work, in your medicinal work, in your life work, in your love work. I mean, rose is here for us in all phases of our life. And so in all phases of our relationship too, we can call on the energy of rose. So I love that their relationship has blossomed into something deeper, and they are hand fasting under that tree. All right, so next we get the queen of the rose, Mother Mary. Now, this is a magical card. This is the power of flowers. It's an archetypal journey through nature. It's by Isha Lerner. And it's Mother Mary kneeling down on the grass. And she has her lighted rose on her heart chakra. She's wearing a vibrant blue, Archangel Michael colored blue cape. She has when I'm looking at it, a pink rose off to the left of the card and a yellow rose off to the right. And there's these beautiful cheruby angel children in the blossoms. I see a willow tree way, way back in the distance by the mountains. So this is a beautiful emotional card. There's a rainbow above her with another rose floating in the rainbow above her head. It's a beautiful card, and there's multicolored rose petals in front of her on the grass. So I love this card. I love this card so very, very much. I'm gonna put her, where am I gonna put her? This is getting very wide. This is a very wide layout. I don't know where I'm putting Mother. I don't know where I'm putting Mother Mary yet. But I do know that she's on page 12 of this book because I have that memorized. Okay, so this is rose. The rose family includes many species of 5-petal flowers in the shape of pentagrams or 5-pointed stars, which offer humanity a beautiful symbol of cosmic love, accessible through the human heart. The plant is deeply rooted and very tenacious, and it is able to surmount great obstacles such as extreme weather conditions. So the plant itself has much to offer us as far as, you know, putting those roots deep into the ground, being able to survive the winter, having thorns. I mean, there's a lot of plant lessons to teach. But this, we are talking about the flower essence, making a flower essence with the rose. And that'll be our next card too. We'll talk the Bach flower remedy. So the rose essence is one of the purest vibrations in existence. Whatever its color or species, it always invokes the most profound manifestations of love, accomplishing this through a gentle stimulation of the heart chakra, located at the center of the human body. So if you feel like you are closed off from love in your life, like it's just not flowing right, you feel like you had your heart broken, you can't trust any mother trucker ever again, like you're just having trust issues, or you just don't feel love. There's just something missing, like you need your heart chakra stimulated. More cowbell in your heart chakra. The heart chakra needs more cowbell, or the flower remedy of rose. You know, flower remedy, rose, cowbell, same thing. This is the Queen of Heaven, the Mother of the world. This is Mother Mary that we're looking at, the archetype. At the mystical core of Christianity, the Virgin Mary is revealed as a goddess who embodies the immaculate mystery of birth and is the source of all that is sacred. So Mary, the moon, gives birth to the light of the world in the form of the cosmic child. Sadly, our culture has lost its connection to this deeper mythology of the Queen of Heaven. So it is a wonderful story. I love Mother Mary. I love her for who she was in human form. I mean, whether or not you believe all the hype, she is an incredible energy to connect with. I feel like she's been one of my guides for many years, and she has helped me open up my heart. So the healing of this card, I told you we were going to talk about Rudolf Steiner. He's the one who created Waldorf schools. He was an Austrian mystic, Rudolf Steiner. He offers a unique perspective on the birth of Christ, suggesting that Mary, in fact, gave birth to twin souls. One, the yellow rose, dedicated to the path of truth, and the other, the pink rose, dedicated to the path of the heart. In this way, according to Steiner, Mary offered the world the forces of both universal truth and universal love. So it's really incredible mythology to dive into a little bit, or just appreciate like we appreciate all the other guides that have come through with Rose. So we are greeted by the Rose Goddess, gently announcing our readiness to accept the twin gifts of cosmic love and wisdom embodied by the mystic Rose. And so this card comes with a really sweet blessing for us today. And I'll just read this blessing out loud. Holy Rose, Queen of Love, your beauty is divine. Sacred is your tenderness, jewel of nature, sweet and kind. Yes, Rose is queen. Don't matter the color, whether it's wild or cultivated, a hybrid. I mean, Rose is queen. And the wild rose essence too is coming through with some more healing messages. These flower remedies, they really are an energetic herbalism. They're energetic healing medicines that these woo-woo places that we can't really define with science just yet, the heart chakra, right? The flower essences get in there and stimulate it gently to open. And so even Edward Bach, back in, I don't know, early 1900s, when he was developing his flower remedies, because he was seeing that you can't just heal a patient's body, you have to address the emotional body as well. So one that he created was the wild rose. And when you take his essence, it helps you rediscover vitality and a lust for life. The glass wall that separates you from existence is shattered. Ooh, this is so perfect because I have her right under. She's sniffing a flower upward towards the picture of the rose that's in the glass bubble. Ooh, so she's like, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you up there. I'm going to shatter that glass bubble because it's been separating you from existence. I'm going to shatter it. You're going to rediscover vitality and a lust for life. You're going to take up your path once again. Woo, you're going to feel like living again. You're going to feel like loving again. So Wild Rose Bach Flower remedy from the Flowers Oracle by Antella Castelli says, what adventure are you ready to undertake? What adventure are you ready to undertake? And the answer should be, I am ready for love. I am ready for the adventure of love in my life, of becoming more loving, of having more love to give, of having more love to receive, the ability to receive. Because like if you're closed-hearted, you're not going to let it in. You're not going to give it. You're not going to take it. You're going to be in a severe love drought. And you need love to flourish, because that's how you were designed. You are made from love, for love, by love, because you are love. You are love. And that is what Rose has just repeated again and again and again today. We're still not done because we have our final card by the Herbal Healing deck, the Rose. And she's the one with that magnificent spiraled sacral geometry. Like, you ever have a spirograph as a kid? It looks like one of those designs on the heart chakra. The cool thing about this illustration on this final card is that she is in full bloom, like that's her head, and in her arms are two long stems with buds. Her little hands are rose buds. It was really a cool card. You can see her roots running deep with energy spreading out, love in all directions, down into the ground, up towards the sky. She's got some other petals that are kind of pointing down towards the ground. Her heart chakra is emanating the energy of love in all directions. So love in all directions is a beautiful message from Rose, and to keep your heart open. Kahlil Gibran said, wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving. Wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving. I am so thankful I get to love another day. I get to be loving today. I am loving. I am open to love. So yeah, a rose is like no other, and that is why she is queen. Few flowers are as famous as the rose. With over 100 species and many more varieties, roses are widely cultivated for beauty, fragrance, and uplifting nature. Native to most continents, they come in many different forms, varying from woody bushes to climbing vines. There's all types of roses. So before you put them in your garden, make sure you're like, do I want a bush? Do I want a climbing vine? Do I want a small plant? Like don't just go on the, look into it so you don't plant the wrong thing. It's interesting how many choices there are when it comes to putting roses in your garden. But rose hips are high in vitamin C and can be drunk as a tea. Often used in body care products, rose flowers have astringent properties. They are great for the skin. Rose essential oil is quite precious in aromatherapy, as many roses must be distilled for just a few drops of the oil. That is why it ain't cheap. Its luxurious scent is comforting and healing to the heart, balancing the emotions to promote love, friendship, and empathy. So yeah, just back on the smell. I mean, if you've only had like fragranced artificial rose and you like love it, can you even imagine getting the real deal? That would be a nice treat someday for yourself. Some real rose oil. Proclaimed as the queen of flowers, the rose has ancient associations with Venus, the goddess of love, art, and beauty. Interestingly, the path of the planet Venus through the heavens reveals the pattern of a 5-petaled rose. The universe is magic, I'm telling you. So the way Venus travels through the solar system, when you look at it as like the path that it makes the pattern again and again of a 5-petaled rose. Cool. Roses have long served as gifts of love, like we talked about. Even according to the color, the different colors of roses are used to impart messages of romance, friendship, or sympathy. Roses connect us with the divine feminine. And that is also why we had Mother Mary coming in today too. The divine feminine. And many ancient traditions honor the rose as a mystical symbol. The word rosary is from the Latin word rosarium, meaning garland of roses. When laid flat, the rosary appears as the symbol of Venus. So, Rose has appeared to us today in our super duper long Monday Herb of the Week podcast. I've loved it. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And since Rose has appeared to us today, know that it is time for us to open our hearts. While the heart chakra is traditionally portrayed with a green color, the classic pink hue we call rose is associated with this energy center. It represents the balance achieved when we combine the physical instincts of the red root chakra with the higher divine wisdom of the white crown chakra. So the red root chakra and the white crown chakra, what happens in art class when you mix red paint, a little red paint into some white paint? You get pink paint. So that is why pink is the color that you will see almost on every single card. Almost on every single card here. There's just like 2 I don't see any pink. All right, so the practice of opening the heart is far more than just some new agey trendy bullshit. It is critical to our spiritual development and our emotional well-being. Opening up your heart is so healthy for you to do. Ancient Egyptian mythology points to the importance of the heart in the afterlife. Upon death, the heart was weighed against a feather to determine the success of the soul's path through life. Kind of creepy, but ideally one would exit this life with a heart that was as light as a feather. Whereas modern Western culture assumes consciousness resides within the brain, ancient Egyptians believed it was within the heart. Modern science has shown that the heart generates the largest electromagnetic field in the body. So the heart literally is an electromagnetic machine. We literally can use our heart to magnetize out and draw energy to us. It's incredible. It really is. So the heart is so much, and Rose is here to support that. Rose is here to support us letting go of anger, letting go of resentment, and letting go of regret. It's so important. In order to move forward, you must forgive yourself and others for any past misdeeds. Forgiveness need not happen all at once. Small steps can be taken in the form of daily affirmations or meditation. I practice forgiveness. Breath work, breathing, using breath work is also a powerful tool for releasing these emotions. As wind is the element of the heart chakra. Rose quartz can also assist you with the process of opening the heart. So grab your rose quartz, start breathing, start affirming, I practice forgiveness, I am loving, I am open to love, I release what no longer serves me, and let go of this anger and resentment and regret. It's time for you to forgive yourself and others. Wow, such a big message for me too, because I'll be like literally face to face at this funeral this week to people that I have not spoken to for a decade, but now we will be in the same room together. So wouldn't now be such the perfect time to let that shit go? Let it go and start to embody love. Let it go and allow the herb of the week, Rose, to just infuse you with compassion and forgiveness. Another message of Rose is to have the courage to follow your heart, even in the face of doubt or difficulty. The term courage comes from the root word cor, meaning heart. In Latin, it means heart. So true courage lies within the heart. Unlocking the heart chakra is the key for so many wonderful experiences. So I just love this herbal healing deck. It's so true. We have been getting ready to talk about unlocking the heart chakra with all of these cards. When you look back, you see the heart chakra signified in a lot of the artwork. Even the wild rose lady on the Bach flower remedy, she is smelling the rose petal up past her shoulder, and her other hand is directly on her heart. Mother Mary's heart chakra is lit. It is lit up. In this card too, the heart chakra is alive and well. Energy is moving. The magic of flowers, it just screams heart chakra. And even the Empress with that honeycomb heart shape, it's just like heart chakra. Get your heart open. Open your heart. Getting your emotions involved in visualization will help manifest your heart's desires. Yes, letting go of your dreams. The winter rose up there in the right corner with promise. What dreams and desires have you been suffocating in your closed heart? It's time to open your heart, release your dreams and desires, and manifest them. So when you think of them, attach a happy and grateful feeling to that which you desire, and then watch it unfold. Even when life is not perfect, remembering to experience gratitude for what you do have is one way to attract more goodness into your life. So I invite anyone having trouble with this to order yourself some flower essence, whether it's Bach flower remedy with the wild rose, whether it is one of the remedies from Isha Lerner, she sells them from the Power of Flowers, or the flower essence of the California wild rose that we're going to talk about now. It's used to foster a love for serving other people and the planet. Rose battles feelings of apathy, unworthiness, and alienation. Now is the time to open up fully to the experience of life. Start by simply being mindful of your heart as you go about your daily tasks. How does it feel? Get involved with the world around you. Do not be afraid to take risks in love and friendship. Make some connections. Get some new stuff going. Allow your emotions to flow through you and cultivate compassion for others. Work to open your heart like a rose opens to the sun, one petal at a time. You will unlock a great source of power and inner knowing. Ask Rose to guide you toward love, spirituality, friendship, and joy. Wow. So if you thought dandelion was up our ass last week with the herb of the week, Rose wants to be part of your journey every step of the way, wherever phase you're at in life, whatever part of your relationship process. I was always going to say problems. Rose wants to hold your hands. Yes, good times, bad times, problems, joyful moments, moments of grief, your worst times, your worst moments. Rose is here for you as an herbal ally. Rose would like to help guide the way. Rose would help you open up your heart more. She wants to help you stimulate and awaken your heart chakra if you haven't yet. Rose, the queen, the empress, she will help you even if it's cracking you open. She will help you by feeling more love and more joy and affection and tapping into the cosmic love, the unconditional love, the love that just is. She helps you with your body, with your mind, with your heart, with gaining clarity. Rose will help you emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. Rose helps you open up, and Rose helps you live your life with joy. Rose is love, and I am so excited that the herb of the week, that she is this herb of the week. She is queen. Rose is queen, and I send so much love out to her, out to the rose, and I know that it will be returned to me multiplied, because that is just how it works. So I allow love and Rose this week to lead the way. And so much love to you as well. I'm excited to hang out with you again tomorrow on Tuesday, Tarot Tuesday. Woohoo! What question will we ask? I have no idea. We will just see. But yeah, thank you so much for this. I encounter love in all of my relationships, including my friendship with you.